Hello everybody, it's Slamtilt again, and I'm back after a short break. But during that time I've always been working on future pinball games. I haven't released a gameplay video for a while. I think I skipped RoboCop, so I need to do RoboCop at some point. So I'm just going to explain a few things I did to that game. So this is Star Trek The Next Generation, or STTNG, as people like to abbreviate it to, which is actually harder to say. So I would just say Star Trek The Next Generation. So this game was originally built for Future Pinball way back in quite a few years ago. I don't know exactly when it was, but it was built by Francisco, Rom, and a few other people. It's kind of a table that was produced by the star players of Future Pinball back in the day. You know, there was a whole bunch of people that used to make Future Pinball games. They all gathered together to create this. And then I came along and added my modifications, which is the game that I'm presenting here today. Now, some of the significant improvements, you probably noticed already that the left ramp is missing. Oh my god! Yes, the warp ramp, which is fed by this flipper, is completely gone, instead replaced by a scoop. Now the reason I did that is because that is a frustration shot, and I hate frustration shots. A shot that you can make every now and again, because it's such a specific shot that requires a lot of power to take the ball all the way up and all the way around here and then all the way down this ramp. In another case it has to feed the ball into the Borg ship, and you know, I just hate it when you make that shot and the ball just makes it halfway up the ramp and then dribbles back down again. It's very unsatisfying. So now I've created a very satisfying shot where the ball has to hit a scoop, and because I've added a scoop I can add more features to the game, so that scoop serves as other features that the game can start. I've also widened the shot to the command kicker, the thing that ranks up the player, where in the original game it's a very tight shot, very difficult to hit. Normally the ball would just bounce in there as a lucky bounce, but in my version of the game you can actually aim for it now and you can hit it. So if you want to rank up in the game, it's much easier in this version of the game. I've also added color changing LEDs to the game. So the first time in Star Trek The Next Generation's history, this game now has color changing LEDs, which I use at certain points in the game. And you know, it is a gimmick, but it looks pretty cool, I think. So let's get a game started and see how far we can get. There's lots of other things as well that I've improved. Most of the rules have been improved of the original Williams game, and I've added a whole bunch of new features. Oh, another thing I want to show you as well very quickly is the virtual console that I've added. So this changes balls per game, and also the HUD on the left, which can go in and out. So let's set that to active, and 5 balls per game. On the other side we can do a test, diagnostics. So fire a torpedo, activate the shields, activate red alert, and turn the movie clips on and off, so you can decide to play the movie clips or switch them off. So let me just go back. So the movie clips are now active again. So that is a command console that you can use during the game. So there are times during the game where you will be required to make a command decision, and you can use that console to make a very quick command decision. At the moment you can only use it to raise shields and to initiate red alert, which will give you your ball back. If the ball is heading down the left or right out lanes, you can quickly use a command decision to get the ball back into play, and you'll see that when we start the game. So let's get going. To boldly go where no baldy men has gone before. So I always go with light lock. This is the problem with this skill shot. Everybody goes for the lock. Of course they do. Nobody really wants to do the probe. Bollocks. So what I should have done there is press the command console to bring that ball back into play. Now the command console can only be used when you've got a certain amount of power, and every time you use it you deplete the power. So you have to use the command console strategically during the game. So I think the first thing that everybody goes for in this game is the multi-ball, which is very, very simple to start in this game. There's another thing as well I've changed as well. When you actually start the game and it goes through the options for the skill shot, you'll see that you can start a particular mission. The mission lights will rotate around as well, which doesn't happen in the original game. So you have the option. There's the red alert. So I just save the ball by using my command decision, which uses a little bit of power. But yeah, you can cycle through the options of which mission to start next, which is much better than the original game, I think, when you've got a little bit more control over which mission starts. Red alert used once again, but I'm using my power for that, you see. So I'm consuming power every time you use the command decision. So let's see if I can get the multi-ball started. Now, the multi-ball in this version of the game is a bit more exciting than the original, because the Borg can adapt to your attacks, and they will be on the attack themselves. They will retaliate, and I hate that in a pinball game. When you attack something, it just stays there, and you just bash away at it, and it doesn't do anything. I always like whatever you're bashing in a pinball game, whatever it is you're attacking, I like it to fight back. It has to fight back. So this is the start of Search the Galaxy. So I just have to hit the different quadrants, Gamma, Beta and Alpha, as indicated by the flashing Star Trek light. And now we have locked a second ball. You see how I changed the colour changing LEDs on the playfield to all green when that happens, and the lights in the playfield will turn all red during a red alert sequence, which happens quite frequently in the game. Lock is lit. Let's see if we can start the multi-ball. You'll also notice that on the toys there's a bitmap added. You see the Borg ship there at the top has a bit more texture to it. Looks a little bit more realistic. Am I in a mode on Search the Galaxy? Yeah. I also added a beeping sound as well. When the timer starts to count down, you get an audio beep so you know that the time's about to run out, which again isn't on the original game. So now I can start multi-ball, I believe, with the third lock. Oh no. I wasn't quite ready then, but you see how the ball was assimilated? So they consume the ball and then they assimilate it. So it's this ball that I'm playing now, it has been assimilated. So wherever I can. Oh, let's do the shell simulation, this is quite fun. So we pick up. Ah, shit! You don't do that. So wherever possible, I will add references to the TV show as much as I can. So I know very little about Star Trek, but I do know a little bit about the Borg. I know that they assimilate. I know that they are a collective intelligence, and they're an all-consuming entity. So that's important. And I know it's one of the episodes, Captain Picard himself becomes assimilated. So that's also in this version of the game. So the Borg take a very prominent place in this game. It's a very big toy at the top of the playfield, so I wanted to make sure the Borg have a great presence in this game. And this is another command decision coming up now. Asteroids will hit the ship and cause damage, and then Commander Worf will tell you to raise shields. So he's recommending you raise shields, so I can make the command decision and raise shields if I want. Oh, I haven't got any power. I've used all my power for the command console, so I haven't got the option to raise shields. So now my ship is going to take damage every time an asteroid hits it, so I've got to clear the asteroid field or the ship will be destroyed. So there's a lot more to that mode than in the original. In the original game, you just shoot shots to shoot the asteroids, but I've added more drama by the fact that the asteroids now hit the ship, and you have an option to raise shields based on Commander Worf's recommendation. And just like the TV show as well, Commander Worf will make recommendations, and Picard will probably ignore most of them. It's up to you. You are Picard in this game. Another cool feature that I've added to the game is when Data makes his comment at the end, you can tell him to shut up by pressing the special 1 key. You can interrupt him, and then eventually he will start coming back saying, "You were very rude to me, sir." And there's a sort of like a dialogue between Captain Picard and Commander Data. If you continue to tell him to shut up when he's doing his little speech when the ball drains, it gets quite funny. So there's a hell of a lot more quotes to this than there is in the original game. There's more Q. The Q target up there will bring Q into play at certain points in the game, and he will assist you during certain modes, like he should. Because he's Q, he's all present, he turns up when you don't want him. It's not just his own mode now, he will actually interfere with other modes. So, I think... what ball am I on now?
Here is another chance.
I don't know. So yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun. This is a wide body game as well, and they don't make these kind of games much these days. This is a Steve Ritchie game. And aside from me removing his warp ramp, it's pretty much identical to the real machine. I don't think I can get the high score. Can I get the high? I added this sequence as well, which isn't on the original game. Get off my bridge.
As far as I am concerned, this game is over. Space. The final.
And that's a quote I found for one of the very obscure episodes on YouTube. So I get most of my quotes from YouTube clips. I don't have the box set, and I haven't watched the entire series. I've only watched very few episodes here and there. So there you go, Star Trek Next Generation, which is about to be released, this new version, the Ultimate Pro version, on my website. So when you see it, download it and enjoy it. Thank you for watching.